Hello there, Pisces. Welcome to your November 2019 tarot reading. I saw one image that came out when I was shuffling the deck for you. And I feel like that image is pretty much all about the first four cards, okay? And then I got like a bunch of messages, messages, words, and no images that came out for the latter part of, or the rest of the cards. So let me just relay the information. First of all, it's quite interesting. I see this little toddler. He's probably like 3 or 4. He's still in his diapers, okay, with like a little blanket that he's trailing around the house. And so he's like wearing a diaper. He doesn't have a shirt on, and he's really young, doesn't know any better. And what I feel is I see somebody laying down like M&Ms on the ground, okay, creating a trail, like leaving a trail, like little pieces of M&Ms, and trying to lure the toddler into a specific part of the house, or trying to get the toddler to go a specific way, okay? And so the toddler is just like, doesn't know any better. He picks up the first piece of M&M, puts it in his mouth, keeps walking, finds the next piece, and puts it in his mouth, okay? So that's the image I got. I don't feel like there was anything menacing, like predatory or anything dangerous or anything like that, okay? So I just felt like you could possibly be, I feel like you guys might be the child where you're childlike and innocent, and I don't want to say naive because I feel like that almost sounds condescending, but I feel like you're entering a situation very starry-eyed, very accepting, and just very like go with the flow, very innocent, very starry-eyed. And I feel that you kind of have to understand what's happening. Okay, like you kind of have to be a little bit more skeptical. You need to look around you a little bit more. You need to pay attention to what's happening in your environment. Okay, I feel for some of you, this is a situation where there's like somebody's grooming you. Okay, somebody's grooming you for a specific position. And then I'm also sensing somebody is giving you little scraps and pieces of exactly what you want, because they want you to do a specific thing, or they want you to stay in that environment with them. They don't want you to go. So they're like doing, little by little to appease you, to allow you to feel comfortable, to allow you to feel good, to allow you to, feel appreciated. But keep in mind, we can't give candy to babies if that's all they can sustain on. It's not a healthy diet. So I feel like there's somebody in your environment who might be either wanting you for themselves, wanting you to stay, not wanting you to leave, trying everything in the book in order to appease you, or to, get in your good graces, or just, keeping you happy and satisfied so that you don't go. And I feel like it's definitely, first of all, it's definitely love and relationship oriented, but it's also work oriented, okay? As it relates to work, what I have here is the devil, temptation, okay? This is like something that's too good to be true, something that somebody is consciously making a decision to lure you in, to present to you things that they feel would really catch your attention, things that they feel would really, it's like capture your interest, okay? I keep seeing like it's like dangling something in front of you. Dangling something in front of you and telling you, soon you're going to have that. Soon you're going to be able to make that much money. Soon you're going to have that position. So I feel like there's a work situation where things are not carefully like spelled out, or things are a little bit shadowy. And I definitely feel there's somebody like a higher up, a person in a management position that's dangling something in front of you and making promises. And I just want you to be careful, because I feel like they might promise you something, oh, there's a promotion that's in the works, or, you do this for 6 more months and then we're going to give you a promotion. And then it extends past 6 months. So I feel like all is not what it seems, okay? Somebody is like giving you little scraps here and there in order to keep you in your place, in order to keep you happy, because they're afraid that you're going to outgrow a position, you're going to outgrow the environment. And so no matter what it is that they're giving you, I just don't feel like they're giving you everything that you need. And I feel like you need to look at this situation with a little bit more skepticism. It's not to say anything bad will come out of it. It's not like, somebody's going to go and kidnap that baby and God forbid, his parents will never find him. I don't see anything that's dire, but I definitely feel there's like a sketchy situation that you need to be a little bit wary of, okay? I'm feeling for some of you, you're tempted by another thing, okay? So we have here the Ace of Pentacles, and this is pretty much a new income generating opportunity. This can be a new job. This can be a new business venture. This can be a new opportunity for you to really break out. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles has a lot of potential to grow. It's linked up with the Chariot card, which basically means major career advancement, a major boost to your standing, to your professional standing, to your level of recognition. And it's a situation where things happen really fast with this Chariot, where your career and your professional life is going to be greatly enhanced and accelerated. However, that's where I feel there's like a situation here where it's a little bit menacing and threatening. They might feel like you're planning to leave. And so they're dangling, the low-lying fruit. They're dangling it, it's almost like I feel like a caramel apple, okay? Dangling it in front of you, and they're telling you, oh, in 6 months, you're going to have this job. In 6 months, we're going to have this new office built out, and you're going to get one of those offices. So they're promising you things that, in the greater scheme of things, do not have very much substance. And all it's showing me here is, the temptation. The temptation to stay in your current predicament because of everything that was promised to you. And, this snake, he's coiled up, he's plump, and he's happy, he's content. And so I feel like there's a situation here where you could be staying put because you're just content. And the people in your environment, they know that you have a lot of potential, and they know that you're planning to leave, or they know that you have other offers. And so they're trying to, lure you in. They're trying to keep you satiated and happy. But I do feel like it's at the expense of your true, total development. Okay, so I feel like there's something else in the picture that is a lot better for you. And you need to go ahead with this option, because I feel that it's almost a situation where I'm sensing, if our ultimate goals in life is to develop ourselves to the best of our potential, this has a lot more growth potential. Whereas this situation here with the Devil, it's a lot more about comfort and stability and ease and the facile way in which you can get things done. But it's all about, it can be safe and comfortable, but you're not developing to your full potential. So you have the potential to, choose options here as it relates to your work. And I do sense that it is in your best interest to really look at the situation, not just immediately what's in front of you, the little trail of candy, or the picking up like the candy here and there, like immediately a foot in front of you. You have to look at this long term, 5 years, 10 years. Where do I want to be? And how is this new thing going to facilitate my path to getting where I want to be 5 and 10 years down the line, versus where I am right now, and how is that going to facilitate, the path for me further down the line. So I feel like you have some major decisions here that you need to make as it relates to kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit and going for something that has a lot more abundance further down the line, okay? I also feel for many of you, this is playing out in a love relationship type of a situation. I feel like one partner is hitting a major career stride, okay? One partner is getting a lot of recognition, a lot of fame, a lot of just a lot of success. And then the other person is like trying to catch up, okay? So it's a series of like one person's constantly, 20 meters ahead, and the other person's trying to catch up. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like you or your partner, you guys kind of like inspire each other towards greatness. You guys are kind of bouncing off each other in a way where it's like in the spirit of friendly competition. Okay. And then I also feel a partnership where the goals and the ideals and the path in the relationship it's starting to diverge a little bit. One person wants this, possibly, the stability, wanting to settle down, wanting to buy property and staying put, while the other person is still interested in uprooting, transplanting, trying to, pick up new opportunities here and there, learning different languages. I feel for many of you, wanting a different career path, wanting to kind of bounce around. So I feel like there is an ideological kind of like opposition between you and a relationship partner in terms of where you want to go ultimately. I do sense one person is very comfortable with the status quo, and the other person might be a little bit bored out of their mind, okay? And I feel like the two of you, I don't see like a fracture or issues or problems inherent in the relationship. But I do feel that you are starting to realize that you both might want different things out of life, and you're still in a position where you love each other and you want to compromise, and you're trying to find ways to, fit both of those goals into a common framework that will allow the two of you to stay as a couple. What I have here is the Lovers. Choices, decisions, but more than anything, this is a situation where two partners are very, very different, okay? Night and day. The energy is very complementary, very different, but complementary. And so we have as well the Chariot, which is extremely opposites, okay? The black and the white horse. Ideological differences, career paths that might, require one person to settle down, the other person to travel the world, for example. I also see vast, immense cultural, I see a lot of interracial couples. I also see a lot of like cultural like considerations, like cultural issues even that might affect the relationship. I also feel like one person might be in a spirit of like nesting, wanting to create a home, wanting children, wanting stability, wanting a stable 9-to-5 job, wanting not to have to shuffle around so much. And the other person is kind of like wild, like the stallion, wanting to travel, wanting to see the world, wanting to see what's around the next corner, wanting to explore and to live a little bit more of a nomadic lifestyle. So I feel that there's definitely, things that needs to be worked out between you and a relationship partner, so that the two of you can reach a little bit more harmony in this relationship. I feel like your partner is very comfortable. Pisces, I feel like your partner wants status quo. I feel like your partner is resistant to change. And I feel that you have been really trying to appease your partner. Okay, you've been like, I don't want to say bent over backwards, but you've done a lot. You're very easygoing. You're very like go with the flow. And so whenever your partner suggests something, you are just like, okay, I'm in. And then I feel like over time, you are not 100% happy with the trajectory of the relationship. And you feel like you want a little bit more, but you're also very passive about what more entails, or you're not able to conceptualize what more means to you, because you were always at the whims of the partner. Does that make sense? So I feel like there's a situation here where some of you could be getting a huge taste of success, okay? You're getting a lot of recognition in your environment, in your work environment. You're getting a lot of support. You're getting like, standing ovation, I feel, for many of you. You're making great strides in your career. Your reputation is like, precedes you. And you're getting a lot of recognition. But I just feel like your partner, they're not at your workplace, so they see you as the Piscean person that's their partner. They don't see all your contributions in the workplace, and I feel like they might not even identify with that public persona that you have in the workplace. And so when they're congratulating you, they might say, oh, you look really nice today. You look very attractive. Or, this food that you put on the table is really, really good. They're not really congratulating you or complimenting you on the things that you feel you've worked really hard to achieve. Does that make sense? So I feel like you have a partner here that's seeing only one side of you, and try as they may, they don't really know the other side. They know you in the personal sphere, in the home, in the couple relationship. They don't see you as the worker, as the person who's really, a major player in your field, okay? So I feel like there is definitely a love situation here where you feel almost like you're not being seen as a whole person. And either that, or you feel like all of your emotional needs are not being met. And I feel like you might have communicated with your partner. And I'm getting a very patronizing, I don't like this energy. It's a very patronizing type of a partner that you're dealing with, where, they treat you almost like in a very childlike way. Where, they're like, oh, it's like downplaying, brushing aside your concerns. When you say something, they're like, oh, it's just your imagination. It's almost like they don't take you seriously. They don't take your concerns seriously. They don't really take everything that you have to say to heart. And I feel like you're starting to also become very exasperated when you're dealing with this person. I do see a little bit of irritability, and I do see a little bit of like patronizing type of energies in this relationship. I don't feel like they are aware of it, and I don't feel like they mean it. I feel like this is something that should be brought to their attention, because they're not really aware of it's not their intention to brush things off. It's not their intention to, minimize your concerns. It's not their intention to belittle you. I don't feel that at all with this person, but I feel like they're protective, okay? And they might have like a very strong paternal, also maternal instinct when it comes to you. They're very protective of you. They like to take care of you. And so when you voice your opinion, I feel like they're in a position where it's like, I'll make it go away. You don't have to worry. Don't worry. I'll fix this situation. So they're constantly playing that leader role, and I feel like they start to embody it, and they feel like you're not in a place to make decisions for the couple or for the relationship. So I definitely feel here there's like power, like very subtle power dynamics in a relationship that might not be 100% healthy. And I feel like it needs to be talked about. It needs to be, the light needs to shine on it so that we can kind of work through this problem, and then we can proceed in a more healthy fashion by balancing out the power dynamics in this relationship, okay? So that's the first thing. I'm sensing for some of you too, there might be, there might be another connection in the relationship. I feel like there might be another person entering the relationship where you have a really strong emotional connection with. This person gets you. They have a lot of insights and they have a lot of wisdom. So I have here the Chariot and the Hermit. And I feel like there is a pull here towards this Hermit energy. You're dealing with somebody who's very successful. They show up as the Magician. Okay? This is somebody that's really capturing your attention. Okay? Notice the eyes. This is someone who's very good at their craft. They're very, it's like showmanship. It's not just fluff and air. There's substance behind the things that they do. I usually think of the magician as someone who is very articulate, somebody who's really good at what they do. They've mastered their craft. Okay, somebody who's highly educated. If they're not educated, like, with a diploma, a degree, a master's degree, a PhD, then they're very well read, they're very knowledgeable, and they're very charismatic because they command other people's attention, right? And I feel as well, it's linked up here with the hermit. It's somebody with a lot of wisdom, with a lot of insight. So in addition to being very powerful, to being very charismatic, they also have a lot of wisdom, a lot of insights. And I feel like this person is definitely interested in you. I feel like you're dealing with somebody who might have recently gotten out of a relationship or gotten out of a marriage, gotten out of a broken engagement, might recently have gone through a divorce. And so they're not in a position where they want to enter another relationship. But I definitely see a mutual admiration, looking at each other, glancing at each other from across the room. For some of you, this might be somebody in your work environment. This might be like a manager, supervisor, somebody up the chain of command, somebody who is in a position of power and authority. And I feel like they're very iffy. They're very hesitant about entering, workplace romances. And I definitely feel like the two of you have really captured each other's attention. And the two of you have really, I definitely see like, I don't see like the flirtation, but I do see mutual interest. Energetically, you are picking up this person's attraction towards you. They likewise are sensing that about you, but I feel like one person, it might be you, one person is already tied up, is already hanging on to something, not able to let go, even though the feelings are there. And then the other person is in a position where they're not interested in entering a committed, solid relationship because they got out of something just like that, and they're not in a position where they can give of themselves just yet. Okay, so I feel like this is indicating to me like the timing might be a little bit problematic. You have to work through your relationship issues here, and they have to, deal with whatever that has recently been shaken up in their world, either like a divorce, a broken engagement, or whatever that situation might be. They need to go through it, and they need to kind of sort their feelings out before they can enter into a relationship. But I do feel there is an attraction. It might be like a third party type of a pull, pulling you away from this situation or pulling you away from a partner. I feel like you're meeting somebody who's like a very strong, who you have a really strong sense of like chemistry with. Okay, you look at this person and like they understand you. Okay, you don't even need to speak, you don't even need to, it's like that twinkle in their eyes or the nod of acknowledgement. It's like you guys have this unspoken non-verbal communication style where you understand the other person. And then in juxtaposition to that, you're looking at your relationship partner and you're thinking that this person doesn't really understand me. We're like the two wild horses. Okay, different breeds, different tribes, different goals in life, different aspirations, different dreams, and wanting the different things in our future. So I feel like there is definitely you're being coaxed, you're being lured away, you're being I want to say tempted by somebody else that you have a really strong magnetic, emotional, spiritual, and physical connection with. Okay, I don't see things being acted on. I don't see anybody doing anything inappropriate to kind of like dishonor an existing relationship, or anybody overstepping their boundaries to inject themselves and break up a relationship. I don't see a home wrecker. I don't see anything like that. But I definitely feel that you are encountering somebody and the bond is very undeniable, and you're starting to, your relationship with this new person is making you assess your current existing relationship, whether or not you are 100% happy, okay? On the other hand, I also feel like somebody is clinging on to you very tightly. We have here the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles, especially in this deck, it's like all the different factors that go into making a decision, okay? Do I stay or do I go? Do I stay in this situation where it's comfortable? Because the Four energy is all about balance. It's all about reciprocation. It's all about a situation where things can be very, very comfortable and solid and balanced. But if we stay in it too long, it gets a little bit stagnant, okay? All these pentacles are sinking, right? It's like quicksand. And there's definitely something that we need to act on. And if we allow the situation to drag on, all those pentacles, everything we've worked really hard at to maintain, to secure, to produce, to build up, it starts to sink into the sand, and all you're left with is the ribbon. And the ribbons, they're just they're not of value. So I feel like there's a situation here where a decision needs to be made, and a decision about your finances, a decision about your work, a decision even about a relationship partner. If it's a love decision, it's either do we open up and let our walls down and communicate, or do we close ourselves off and ignore this connection as if it's, and ignore the pull or the allure or the connection, okay? If it's a decision when it comes to finances, it's sort of like everything is sinking into the sand. If you don't act on this decision or this choice might not be on the table a week from now, a month from now, 4 months from now. So I feel like there's definitely a decision here. If it's finances, it needs to be acted upon. On a lighter note, well, actually, depending on which side of the coin you are in, on a different note, okay? Let's just say on a different note. I feel like for many of you, especially if you have been, if you have some major repairs within your household, you need to, contract or call a few contractors and shop around for rates. It's okay to do that during the November period. The Mercury retrograde period is going to be all throughout November. It's not the ideal time to get repairs, but it's okay because I feel like this is something that you might have been neglecting. You might have not thought was very important. I do see housing repairs, housing situation, neglected repairs that needed to be done a while back. And for whatever reason, you might have been very busy, whatever the reason might be, it just wasn't done. And so Mercury retrograde periods, I feel, it's notorious for old things to, come back and haunt us. Things that we should have taken care of. Things that we should have done our due diligence to do the research on. I feel like there's something coming in here when it comes to housing situation, repairs, moving, packing, unpacking, getting all your things sorted out, because it's coming up here as the Tower. And the Tower indicates to me a fracture, a weak foundation that's crumbling, okay? So if you have housing repairs, especially in the northern hemisphere, we are heading towards the rainy season and also the cold season, the snow season. If you're in extreme climate, I feel like it's time to, hire the people to clean out your gutters, to rebuild that foundation, to put do some type of roofing work, because I feel like structurally or foundationally there might have been some housing repairs that needed to be done. You were hesitant about investing the money, and so these problems might be causing you issues as we head into the month of November. I feel for many of you, you were just like, you had the money and you were hanging on tightly to it. You're just like, oh, it's not that major. It's not that bad. And I feel that you might need to get a second opinion and try to figure out what you need to do about this, okay? Shop around. Talk to a few contractors. Look at their ratings, especially, when it comes to contractors, a lot of people go through like people that they know. So I feel like, let your the people around you make recommendations as to who you can trust, who you can go with, who won't cheat you, who won't like, charge you an arm and a leg for a very, very simple procedure, for example. So I feel like there's definitely some maintenance things that needs to be done, okay? Maintenance things as it relates to your car, as it relates also to the home environment. So that's pretty much the first 8 cards. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of these messages that came out, okay? If you are dealing with a Taurus, please watch the Taurus video. I feel like it might shed some light on the other person's perspective. If you have Taurus strongly in your chart, I feel that you should definitely as well watch the Taurus video. In the Taurus video, I felt like there was a hook, there was a bait, there was, a situation where somebody is definitely luring somebody in, reeling somebody in, wanting to communicate with somebody from the past. So instead of communicating, instead of like just being straightforward and communicating, somebody is like asking questions about work just on the pretense of, trying to strike up a conversation. So that's what I'm sensing. And then somebody is just like, hey, I need your help. And when in fact they don't really need your help, they just want to, leave that portal of communication open. I'm also seeing as well with the Taurus video, the images that came out was the hook, okay, being baited or being hooked. And then I saw a hook when I was shuffling out your cards too. It's like a hook on a fishing line. So I feel like you might be in a position where if you have strong Taurian, placements in your chart, if your sun, moon, or rising is in Taurus, definitely watch that. If you're dealing with a partner that's Taurus, I feel like there's some crisscross messages that you might need to know before we head into the month of November. So take that if it resonates. We have here a blast from the past, okay? We have here the 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups is memory lane nostalgia, dealing with a situation where we have really fond, loving, fuzzy-wuzzy, like feelings about another person. I also feel like there's definitely somebody you're thinking about outside of your current relationship. If you're in a current relationship, if you're single, there's definitely feelings being stirred up. Do I reach out? Do I reconnect? How do I, come back into this situation? How do we open up that channel of communication without arguing? Okay, so there's like a contentious relationship partner or a person that you've had dealings with, and you're not really sure how to reach this person. I feel, though, that they have really fond memories of you. The 6 of Cups is like childlike innocence, okay? They see you as the 6 of Cups, which means your energy is very soft. Look at the pastel colors in this. It's like an infinity, like endless pouring of love and emotions. They see you as someone who's like, who's very generous, who's very loving, who's always available to soothe their troubles, to solve their problems, to make things better for them. So they don't have a memory of you that's bad. Okay, so they just like they really only see the very best in you. And so I don't know what this person might have done. There might have been deception. There might have been control issues. There might have been a lot of conflict between you and this person. And they're afraid to come back into the picture because they're afraid of the conflict. We have here the 7 of Wands. Feeling attacked, feeling like you need to defend yourself, feeling like you're standing on, I'm hearing, quicksand, that the more you struggle, the more you sink, right? So I feel like there's this person that is feeling this way, and they want to make that connection. They want to reconnect. They want to reach out. But they're very afraid. And they're also in a position where, they're dealing with a lot of things in their life. They're dealing with career, like shifts in their careers. A lot of, I'm seeing somebody who's like, who has to wear many hats in the work environment, who's someone who's really, really good at their job. And they're very versatile. They're like a master at their craft. And I feel like they're in high demand in the work environment. I also feel like they're trying to figure out, what it means to, what happily ever after means to them. Does that mean traveling the world, or does that mean settling down? I feel like you're dealing with someone who is not 100% sure what they want out of life. But I do feel that one of the surest things that they know is that they really want a connection with you. There's a connection here that is very undeniable, okay? There's physical attraction. There's a lot of like spiritual soul energy. There's a lot of mutual goals and mutual like wanting the same things out of life, wanting to be together. A relationship that's very open-ended, where both parties have their own lives, have their own groups of friends, have their own interests, have their own hobbies. And so I just feel like it's all about mutual growth and mutual expansion. And then I also feel like, if this is a partner from the past that has really hurt you, because it's also linked up here with the Tower, then you might want to think twice before revisiting this situation, okay? We have some major decisions that you're in the process of making here, Pisces. And I just want you to be a little bit careful because I feel like somebody's dangling something desirable in front of you. But the trinkets that they're luring you with are very, very minuscule and little compared to, this other big decision that's on the table. This big, big, big pentacles. It has a lot of potential. It might require a move. It might require a longer commute. But I feel like it's really going to spin that wheel to get your career up and going in a way where you will like excel. You will be so ahead of the game versus what this current situation in the work front is giving you, okay? It's giving you scraps. It's giving you candy. It's fattening you up. And it's really not contributing to your overall happiness and sense of pride and achievement, okay? You have a lot of potential here, and I feel like, the career situation is going to take off. And I'm sensing that the new is the way to go, is what I'm feeling, okay? The old, there are a lot of issues, okay? The last thing I want to talk about here is the Tower. And this is, I feel the old, okay? We have here Four of Pentacles hanging on to something. And then we have the Tower. It's a faulty foundation. So I feel like there's a lot of, there are a lot of problems in the current work environment. I feel an environment that's not innovative, okay? It's like stagnant. I feel like while all of your competitors, like other companies or other organizations, are going digital, this environment is still very much in the medieval ages. It's still using, handwritten notes. It's still behind the times technologically. It's hiring people that are not really, it's sinking, it's losing grip. So I feel like the old is like this. It's a situation where you're not really progressing. You're not going to be able to develop to your full potential. So you have something amazing coming in. Don't let fear, don't let that sense of comfort and familiarity let you turn down this opportunity, okay? Because you have amazing things in store. I will leave it at that, okay, Pisces? For those who are interested in a reading, I've included a link in the description box below for a colleague. Her name is Bridget. She's a psychic and she's based out of California. If you're interested in a reading, please book a reading through her website, okay? And if you're interested in purchasing this tarot deck as well, it's wonderful. I really enjoy working with it. It's the White Sage Tarot, and I've included a link in the description box for the artist that created this deck. She has amazing artwork and other things for sale on her website as well. So, just give it a look and see what you like, all right? The link is also below. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful November. For those who are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to all. And I will see you back here in December, okay? Take care of yourself, Pisces. It is great to reconnect with you, and I hope this message finds you well. I'll talk to you soon.